Hey everyone, thank you for joining us again as we continue this series on Walt Disney World versus Disneyland. I am Jesse Fouts, and I'm joined here this evening with my good friends Jenna Ensign,
Hey y'all.
Nikki Kennedy,
Hi.
and Jeff Bowman.
Hey y'all.
And we're going to be talking to you about one of another great topic of difference between the two resorts, which is attractions, because a lot of people think that everything that's at Walt Disney World is at Disneyland and vice versa, but that's not really the case now, is it?
No.
Nope.
There's a lot of difference, and even on the attractions that are the same, the attractions aren't truly the same. There are similarities, they're the same names, but when it comes right down to it, no two attractions are truly the same when you come to it all. So, we've got some good examples of that as far as what attractions offer what and what not. And I think it's going to be an interesting discussion between this group as to who we think has the better attractions. So without any further ado on this, let's get right into it. So let's talk attractions. I just want to know real quick, and we're going to go round table. Jenna, who has the better attractions? Let's start off and ask that question.
Disneyland.
Ooh, all right, Jeff.
I don't know. Like, are we talking just attractions, or are we talking like all the attractions all together? Like, my favorite attraction is
Attractions or attractions?
I know it's stupid, but like, if we're talking about proximity of all the attractions, I'm taking Disneyland. But if my favorite attraction is in Disney World, so it's hard to say.
All right.
But I do have to go Disneyland just because proximity and the similar rides have the better attractions are in Disneyland as well.
All right. Now tell me what you think, Nikki.
I don't want to tell you my answer.
Oh, are we going to have a Lone Ranger?
All right, fine then. I'm going to go ahead and guess for Nikki.
I would have to say Disney World, which maybe it's because I just haven't been there that much, so it's like all new and exciting. I know. I feel like I need to go wash my mouth out with soap for saying that.
I can't believe this.
I know.
I thought Nikki would have said Disneyland.
I know, but
where's Chelsea? Where's Chelsea and Nicole and
Space
Colleen?
Mountain and Disneyland, but overall whole thing.
Yeah,
that's very surprising.
Wow.
I know.
I think
Jesse, how do you feel?
Someone check my.
You blew my mind. So I see. Oh man. Okay. So this is I struggle with this, and I need to preface this really quick, and I promise I won't go into my.
None of us can give a straight answer.
No.
There's no.
I have.
It's a hard question,
and we'll go into it. But
Which one edges it out? What's 5149? What's your 51? I feel like you're gonna say Disneyland.
Oh, gosh. Okay. Disneyland. Okay. Disneyland. There, I said it. All right. All right. I need to hear the arguments for Walt Disney World during this discussion. So, and I think I might reformulate my answer as we're talking. And I have the freedom to do that, right? Like at the end of this segment, I'm going to reformulate, okay? Because I started off answering this question, but now
we're running for president.
I know. I'm like, he's going to be the one that's like, well, if the voters like me.
All right. So,
they swayed me.
Here's the thing, right? Like, and I'm going to just bring up, an example of what I'm talking about here, between the two, and why even the two rides that were similar, and this one's kind of a special case. But there on the left, you have Hollywood Tower of Terror, found in Disney's Hollywood Studios at Walt Disney World. And on the right, you have Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout, found in Disney California Adventure. Interesting fact, and who knows, again, for those of you that aren't familiar with Disneyland, what attraction did Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout used to be? Anybody?
Tower of Terror.
Tower of Terror.
Tower of Terror. So those two rides used to be the exact same attraction.
No, they did not.
But not really. Right.
Did you
Not
ever
the
ride
same.
it at Disneyland?
Same name is what I
Did you
mean.
ride it at Disneyland though? When it
I
was
did
like-
not
Not when
ride
it
the
was-
original.
It was
Not-
lame in comparison.
In
So-
comparison,
so-
absolutely, yeah.
Here's the thing. This is exactly what I'm talking about. You had two attractions, and you know this from personal experience. Even though now they're, totally themed differently. And a lot of people were worried because a lot of people that love Hollywood Tower of Terror thought that they were going to take and do the same thing at Walt Disney World with our Hollywood Tower of Terror. But thankfully, there are no discussions, no plans for that at all. So I think we get
I'd be okay with it.
So
Well, it was because if you think about it though, Hollywood Tower does not fit the back lot now. That's
Right.
all Marvel that had to change.
Right.
I honestly, when you come down to it, I've ridden even Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout. I've ridden that at Disney's California Adventure, and I've also ridden or rode Hollywood Tower of Terror. I think Tower of Terror is hands down still a superior attraction in
I
every
disagree.
way. In every
I
way,
disagree.
it's still
I
superior.
disagree.
It
So
tells
the
you
only thing-
Hollywood Tower at Disney World, how it's kind of like a
The ride
slower
through
ride
part.
at the beginning, whereas like Mission Breakout, you just like shoot straight up the thing and that's it. That was how the
Yeah.
tower was too. So I feel like the ride itself wasn't big enough to be that much of a storytelling. Like they didn't have like the space. Like I feel like if they redid that Hollywood Tower, it would be a better Guardians because they have the space to tell the story.
But
Well-
do you think people connect to this attraction because it is Marvel, it is Guardians of the Galaxy versus, let's say, you guys have ridden both? And let's say if it wasn't a Marvel themed attraction and it wasn't Hollywood Tower of Terror and it was just something random, like Phineas
I
and
think it'd
Ferb
be kind
or
of
something.
lame because there would just be these like holographic people that you don't know who they are, and then all of a sudden you're getting like spit on.
Well, think about it like this. We rode it. Jeff, I think you rode it with me whenever we were there for Halloween time and they did the Guardian After
Monsters
Dark
After
or whatever.
Dark.
Yeah, Monsters After Dark. I didn't like that one nearly as much as I liked the original. So I can
Right.
see where you're coming from with that. Like, there's no story behind it. There's really nothing. You're just
Right.
chasing monsters. Like it wasn't
Drop ride.
great.
But I
Right.
want to rewind real quick. Did you just suggest a Phineas and Ferb ride for this?
I was throwing something out there.
I
would
didn't hear that.
I would absolutely love a Phineas and Ferb
That would be epic.
overlay
We could go on, like, all their
with like a
adventures, like,
Doofen.
every
This is
level.
Doofenshmirtz
Right.
Tower, and you're there, and it's like a Perry the Platypus mission, and like, oh my gosh, and
Disney,
like
I
love
hope
handles
you're
there.
Because that
Come
would
on.
be epic.
So I think
Like running
one of-
from Candace.
one of our future segments should be attractions we would wish we could have in the
Attraction
parks.
remodels.
Yeah,
That would
like-
be awesome.
Reimagine
I'm for it. I'm
So-
starting a petition.
Right.
For us.
So, okay, this is just one example. Okay, so I want to go to Nikki here because Nikki blew our minds earlier. Nikki, you told us that you think Disney World has the better attractions. So I want to say, like, do you think Disney World has the best attraction between the two parks?
No.
Wow.
I'm so confused.
So
No. So that's
So
what I
you-
think that's kind of what Jeff was like trying to get at. Like it's like kind of like a two-part question. Like
Right.
hit me with like the rapid fire, like same ones, like Space Mountain, Disneyland every day. Big Thunder, Disney World, Splash Mountain. Well, we can't talk about that anymore, but it was.
We can.
it was
We still
Disney
can.
World. Like so many of them, like are split. Pirates is obviously better at Disneyland. Like
Haunted
Peter
Mansion.
Pan is better at Disneyland, but the queue is Small World is like obviously no brainer. Like there's so many that like split, but like the overall, I'm going on vacation for attractions.
right.
Disney World just has so much more to offer, and also my feet don't hurt trying to get everything in at Disney World. Whereas like Disneyland, after 3 days, I feel like I'm gonna absolutely die.
So now
doing it
that's
wrong.
interesting. That's a very interesting point because I think the reason I like Disneyland is because things are so close together, and it takes a longer time to park hop at Walt Disney World than it does
Right.
Disneyland.
But your Disneyland park hours are a lot longer too. So like when we go, we're 8 a.m. to midnight, running
But that's
back
not
and forth all the time.
But that's not how. I mean, Magic Kingdom is only open 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. So that's not like that's the longest right now.
That's what I'm saying. Like Disney World, you don't need to pack it all into one day.
Yeah.
Like we don't do
I
a
gotcha.
hopper at Disney World because it's pointless.
And the fact that there are 4 theme parks versus 2,
Right.
4 at Walt Disney World versus 2 at Disneyland, even the way the attractions and the lands differ between the 2 parks. So I think Disney's California Adventure, it's funny because like whenever you describe it to somebody who's never been to Disneyland, it's almost like, and I think I've said this before, but it's almost like Epcot and Hollywood Studios had a baby, and this is what that baby is, because again, you've got a little
If
bit
I
of
had to ride one ride for the rest of my life, it would be at Disneyland.
What
But,
is
like,
it?
overall? Radiator Springs.
Radiator Springs. I knew she was going to say that. 'Cause, I mean,
But like
it's
overall attractions, Disney World wins.
wow.
I never said quality, more just like quantity.
So, sorry, are you saying more is better?
When you're talking about like attractions, like if you have teenagers that want attractions, then yes. I'm not.
Then
an
I'm going to
attraction
Disneyland.
person.
But
Like,
there's more
I found
attractions at
vertical.
Disneyland, isn't there?
I
Or
I
think
think we
it's
had this
similar?
discussion.
So,
Yes.
but they also have a lot of them are like it's a lot of like storybook stuff.
Yeah,
right?
that's
Which is
true,
what
too.
ups it is like Fantasyland at Disneyland has way more going on,
Yeah.
but it's all basically the same ride.
and for those of you watching here, and this is what I'll say, and I think that maybe you 3 would agree with me, even our Fantasyland at Magic Kingdom here in Walt Disney World,
You have 2.
I don't think compares to the Fantasyland at Disneyland. I think you have more attractions geared to the younger children. So if you're watching this with younger children and you want to take your younger child for more attractions, Disneyland is where you need to go. Because again, you've got
Well, are we talking like
so many different attractions. So
It's hard. It's really hard because I brought my young child to Disneyland and I felt like there was less to do there than there was in Disney World, because
You weren't
I mean
doing
there's
that
just
right.
so much to do and so much to see. Well, it was our first time too, so
Right.
you go and you learn, but I
right?
felt like we had so much more to do in Disney World. Like there were so many more places to go, so much more to see, so much more to do in Disney World as opposed to Disneyland.
See, if I'm taking my kids, Disneyland definitely, but that's just I don't know.
Right. It's hard. I
tough.
mean, but so Walt Disney World is my home park. That's where I love. That's where I go. So like it's nostalgic to me and that's where I want to go all the time. Like I have a newfound love for Disneyland and I would love to go there more, but it's way harder for me to get to. So I feel at home at Walt Disney World. And I think that's why it's so tough for us, because I love Walt Disney World. I also love Disneyland, but they're different.
right.
See, in
And
Disneyland,
there's
like my home all day, every day. So
right.
I don't really know why I said Disney World. It just
Okay.
seemed like my right thing.
I mean, I said Disneyland.
So
I
I'm
get
gonna-
it. Like
I'm going to do some rapid fire because I know this is one of those conversations I think we could go in on. And I just want a rapid fire response. I'm going to ask a question. New Orleans Square versus Liberty Square. Jenna.
New Orleans. Oh,
New
that's not
Orleans.
rapid fire if we're not all going.
Okay,
along.
fine. Okay. Let me
One,
define
two,
the
three,
rules
fire,
here.
ready?
You asked. You
All right,
also
everybody
asked
can,
the homeowner
everybody can
here.
answer at once. All right. New
What'd you
Orleans
say?
Square versus Liberty Square.
New Orleans.
New Orleans. Jesse?
Okay. Pirates of the Caribbean at Disneyland versus Pirates of the Caribbean at Walt Disney World.
Land.
Disneyland.
Disneyland. You have to answer too, Jesse.
All right.
And you have to
Haunted
be
Mansion.
faster. Do you want me to take over?
Haunted Mansion. I'll get it in here. Haunted Mansion. What do you think?
Disneyland.
Disneyland.
Holiday overlay.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Jesse, you're not answering.
Oh, I will. I promise. I think people know what I'm going to say. So Pirates of the Caribbean is my favorite attraction between the 2 parks in the sense of it. I'm not talking about Walt Disney World Pirates of the Caribbean. I'm talking about Pirates of the Caribbean at Disneyland. I think that is a superior ride. And anybody who would ever try to dare say that they're two in the same, you didn't go on the ride, or you you just haven't experienced it.
You're
You
having an
know, it's a lot different. However, now I think Haunted Mansion at Walt Disney World, I like Haunted Mansion at Walt Disney World better.
Why?
I like I mean, if you look at the manners, like they're themed differently. I mean, you've got a New Orleans style mansion versus a New England style at Walt Disney World.
Mhm.
I do like the fact that you walk
Can I
into
throw
the
a crazy
mansion.
fact at you? Did you know the castle was supposed to be a freaking haunted house?
No.
Wait,
That's
what?
very good.
What? Can you imagine? Like, come on, kids, we're gonna go to this like possessed land. It's a little better than the castle.
Okay.
Sorry.
Here we go. Toy Story Land versus Cars Land.
Cars Land.
Cars Land is in Disney California Adventure, Toy Story Land in Hollywood Studios, just so you guys know, if you're watching this and you've never been. Okay.
Cars Land.
No, Cars Land is here we go. That's the Holy Grail.
Is art of animation.
Nikki, you are going to be Nikki. You have I think you are the only person on this team that has done both Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway at Walt Disney World and now at Disneyland. Which is better? Land
wow. Is way better. The ride has a special sequence that's not in the other one. That's all I'll say. The queue is better, and it actually like fits where it is. Like they kind of just like had a building and decided to whip it into something else. Hollywood Studios, whereas you're like in the movie theater in Mickey and Minnie's town. So
I'm so excited to see those.
Excited to look at it. Yeah.
It's
okay. What? Let's see. Let's go. All right, again. Attraction here. This one's going to be. Okay, I'm going to take it away from the attraction really quick. It is attraction, but it's not attraction as in the ride. Cinderella's Castle versus Sleeping Beauty Castle.
Cinderella Castle.
Sleeping Beauty. You can walk through it.
Classic. Yes.
You can
it's puny.
You can eat in Cinderella's Castle.
Yeah, for $1 million a plate. If you get
like
a reservation, you
isn't
can
it?
just. Well, honestly, if you eat too much, you're not fitting in.
Well, and honestly, I wouldn't
those
want.
Like things are so little, but it's.
I also don't. Cinderella's Royal Table is not my kind of food, anyway.
Why are you fighting?
Right.
It's not, but Cinderella Royal Table is just stunning, and it's got
just
the
big.
mosaic.
Disneyland is an attraction. If you're calling it an attraction,
I got one for you.
It's tiny.
I got one for you. Incredicoaster versus Everest.
Everest.
But I thought you were going to go with Aerosmith.
Me too.
I could. Okay. That would be a.
No. That would be. It would be Everest versus Matterhorn.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And
Right,
that's Everest. Matterhorn will kill you.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Matterhorn.
I messed up.
Gotta see the
I'm
chiropractor.
sorry for those of you that are
Awful.
watching this. We're going off the rails here, kind of like you would.
Jesse's going to turn this car around.
All right, fine then.
Me on that one. That was great.
Okay, because it is an attraction, maybe not one that everybody likes to rush to, but you do go with little kids. Mad Tea Party in Disneyland versus Walt Disney World.
Land, it's outside.
6s.
It's outside in Magic Kingdom.
No, it's not. It has a roof.
It's covered. It is covered.
It does have a
It's
roof.
Magic Kingdom.
It has a
It's
pavilion.
outside, but it's covered. It's covered. So I get what she's saying because you do.
I'll skip at either one.
The lanterns over.
Okay, ready? Dumbo.
Oh, Disney
Magic
World.
Kingdom.
Magic Kingdom, yeah.
They have 2 and a kids play area.
Yeah, it's way superior. That was honestly kind of a trick question.
Space
All right.
Mountain.
Buzz Lightyear.
Space
Mountain.
Mountain.
Oh, Disneyland.
Wow, that's a good one.
Disneyland is
Buzz
far
Lightyear.
superior. Disney World is so pathetic.
Yeah, because you got hyperspace,
And
right?
Wait, no.
Hyperspace.
We're talking about Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, we were talking about Space Mountain.
No. Yeah, Disney.
I've never ridden.
Why is there not a
you can
soundtrack
scam.
at Tomorrowland at Disney World? What the heck?
What do you
Yeah.
mean?
The biggest flop.
We're about to get Tron, so back up.
Well, you're gonna need it. Another fun fact: Space Mountain was going to be Matterhorn, and then they scrapped it, and that's why it's the same coaster as Matterhorn at Disneyland.
Wow.
I know. I read a book. Nemo.
See, I don't do that.
Nemo. Parks Park.
Oh.
I've never ridden it in Disneyland, so I
Epcot.
can't tell
Far
you.
superior. Don't ride it at Disneyland. You will hate yourself.
I'll never ride it at Disneyland again.
Autopia versus
Get rid of both of them.
Autopia.
Get rid of Autopia and
Are they both
Tomorrowland
Autopia?
Speedway.
I'm pretty sure we can
Speedway.
solve.
I hate
The
both
Speedway.
of them so much.
Autopia at
The
least is like
unloading process is
go.
like
Something to see. Yeah.
I think we can save the
First one is a
climate if we stop Tomorrowland Speedway and Autopia.
I hate them. They're not.
What
my-
about
they take.
Big
Sorry.
Big Thunder's better at Disney World.
Big Thunder, Disneyland?
Wait a
It's
minute.
still
No,
longer.
no. See, that's where I would
Big Two is
disagree.
so much better.
I love
Disneyland.
I love Disneyland Big Thunder.
Me too.
Yeah.
Jeff,
I-
you're the
Little
tiebreaker.
Mermaid.
I do like Disney World.
Little Mermaid?
Oh,
Disney
Disney.
World.
Yeah, they're the
Yeah.
exact same ride.
Disney World.
Winnie the Pooh. Exact
I've
same
never
ride.
ridden it in Disneyland.
It's exactly
Hey,
the
you
same.
still
I like
have-
Disneyland.
You
Okay,
still
hold on,
have
hold on.
Mr. Toad's
Go
Wild
back.
Ride at
Let's go.
Disneyland. We don't have that.
Yeah, that's cool. It
We
also
used
looks like
to.
you're on a bad trip, but whatever.
I like Disneyland's Winnie the Pooh better because when you enter the honey room, there's the moose
Yes.
from the Country Bear Jamboree
And
because
you
that's what used to be
Enter
there.
outside.
Oh well, we
Ready?
still have.
How about
Country
this
Bears
one? How about this
Jamboree.
Yeah.
Small World.
Oh,
No,
Disneyland. Hands down, Disneyland.
There's no question.
No, that one is one of the like. If you're going,
That is like so disappointing as a
It's-
Disneylander going to
it's
Disney World.
quintessential at Disneyland. If you go to Disneyland and don't do Small World, like you just,
Yeah, no.
you got to do it. So, all right, here's one more, and I think we'll wrap it up after this. But let me ask you this now. This one's a good one. All right, ready? Great moments with Mr. Lincoln versus Hall of Presidents.
Which
Neither.
one's a bigger snooze fest?
Yeah, I'm like,
Which
Which
one
one
would
is
I rather
longer than
take
I
a
fall
nap
asleep?
in?
Come on, snooze fest. We're
Presidents.
talking history. We're
okay,
talking
so real talk.
patriotism
I've
here.
never been on Presidents. Is
Well,
it
real
a
talk on that.
ride or is it just like
No.
this
No,
food?
it's a
It's a
theater.
wax show. So they make wax figures of the presidents and they all tell the story of the United States.
If you
They're
guys
all
are listening to
animatronics,
this at
aren't they?
home,
Yeah.
and they've
Wax
been, you need
animatronics.
to go.
Yeah, I'm
Listen
going
to
Lincoln.
me. Go.
I do
Lincoln's-
Hall of Presidents every
Oh
time
man,
I go.
I
When
can't-
it's open,
oh,
because
man,
it takes a little time.
Yeah.
that breaks my heart hearing this. Okay, all right,
But
all right. Well,
But it's better to sleep in because it's cold and long.
so
Yep.
They both
I
are.
think look, we could keep.
But
going
I'll
on
take
this, and I
Figment
think-
over
but
anything.
Overall, does anybody want to
Stop.
change their answer? Anybody going to
No.
change their answer real quick?
Yeah,
My
I'll
answer
change.
is
I'll
the
go-
same for everything. Quantity, Disney World. Quality, Disneyland. Same
you
thing.
could do Cars or Indiana Jones versus
Dinosaur.
No, thank
But I
you.
take
Indiana
Indiana
Jones.
Jones every time.
Yeah.
Is the Jungle Cruise the same? Because I didn't go on Disneyland.
No,
It
it's
was.
not.
Jungle
It
Cruise
is
is
different.
better at Disney World,
Mhm.
Yes, it is.
which
Well-
I really kind of hate to say.
Well, there you
It
have it. I think that we could go on and on. So we're going to
We're just
spare.
gonna shut ourselves
But
up.
what
guys.
was the consensus?
Thanks for
Did we decide
joining.
Disneyland's better?
Consensus was Disneyland.
Yeah, I think
Nikki
that
is the
they-
holdout on this one.
So
I
Disneyland
tried
wins
to
this
be like
one?
the fighter, but
Wow.
Yeah.
So now, see, I wonder if it would be different if we had some of the other crew on here. If we had Colleen or Chelsea or
Colleen would go
Nicole.
Disneyland. Chelsea would be stuck in Animal Kingdom, and she doesn't ride bikes.
All right. Well,
You know I'm
thanks for
right. I'm not
watching,
being
everyone. We're glad you came out tonight and looked and watched with us here and talked with us. And please don't throw stuff at your computer screen if you're watching this on the computer or wherever you're watching it. Please don't throw or break your phone. Definitely, make the decision for yourself. If you haven't been
Make
to either
good
park,
choices.
definitely go. And with that, join us next time as we'll be discussing entertainment, because that is a whole section of itself. And I think you'll be surprised to know which way we lean on entertainment. Make sure to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching and have a good evening
Bye.
or day or